All right. Hi. So we have been working in a group together in CAS 100B for the past 6 weeks, and we've had a great time. And so basically, we're just kind of going to be talking about some like processes that we had to go through as a group, and just kind of getting to know each other and how to function as a group. So, does anybody want to?
Yeah, I just wanted to say before we actually got into this topic of the round table and evaluating our work team as a group, I just wanted to say that I thought working with the four of us was so awesome. I thought we probably became more friends than just group mates and teammates, and I definitely enjoyed it. And not even I learned a lot throughout the class, but I also learned so many different things, foundations, aspects, live on with these girls. So I just wanted to put that out there because it was awesome, and I'm gonna be missing working in this group. Seriously.
Okay, no, yeah, I agree, and I feel like a lot of other people in groups that I've talked to, they were like, oh yeah, they were talking about problems they've had with their group, and I was like, I literally have nothing to complain about mine. I think I got such a good group, and we were always working well together, and even when we weren't working, we'd just be talking about our lives, and I feel like that definitely helped a lot with just being together in a group. But I love this group. I got blessed.
Yeah, I feel like it was way easier to connect as a group because we all kind of clicked once we got put in it together, and I just feel like I did hear a bunch of things from other groups, and compared to them, we're besties. And
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
No, I feel like the emotional connection between us actually helped
Yeah.
out because we spent all this time together working almost literally every single day. These girls have become a part of my routine. So that was definitely awesome.
Yeah, I think we all did a really good job together and just making sure we all put in work together, and along with that, I think there were a few times that we did get really distracted because we just ended up talking and connecting, and even though some of that may seem like it wasn't very productive, I actually found it so rewarding because I just made 3 really awesome friends in the process of that. So
Just gonna turn into a cry fest.
all right, so
With that said, we can probably start the 4 discussion sections that we have. So starting off with the first one, which was group development. I overall I'm usually a people watcher. I will not lie, and I feel like I've been observing every single one of us adjust to one another throughout these 6 weeks, and I think we have all developed in some kind of way. Rather, it was looking at connection, building, nonverbal communication, whatever aspect that we have learned in class, I have definitely see passed through at least one of us. And I think that looks like it's working. Your class is working. That's what I'm gonna say. But with that said, I wanted to start us off with the first question. Compared to the first day that we got assigned to each other in a group, how do you think our communication style has changed? Rather it's even us texting over the phone randomly, how you said you made great friends, or was it just in class? Did we get a little bit more lenient with each other? How did that communication style of just the first day that we were just hi, my name is, and whatever, has developed onto how we are right now?
I think even in the beginning, obviously it's gonna be a little awkward. We're just meeting each other for the first time. This is so new. But I think we built good communication, relationships very easily and very quickly. So even though it was more awkward at first, I just think we still have made progress towards better communication. You know.
I agree.
I think a part of it that made communication a lot easier for us was number one, I think all of us are considerably outgoing, or we do have some shy aspects to us, but I think a part of that is just as a personality, as a whole, we tend to be a little bit more outgoing, so I think that helped us. And when we would meet up for our group meetings, I feel because we're all girls, we were able to bond over a bunch of different
Everything,
things.
yeah.
And once we started bonding and creating friendships, I feel like that just also opened up the communication a little bit more, and we were able to talk things out a little bit easier. We understood each other. Like I feel like we just clicked in that sense almost.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, I definitely think that getting to know each other a lot more was very helpful because we just we weren't really afraid to tell each other what we agree with and what we don't disagree with. And I just think that it made the whole process of the group better, and it just allowed us to do assignments quicker.
Yeah. No, 100%. I also wrote down a little key things that I thought we changed in terms of our communication style, and the 4 key things that I have written down was that comfortability, honesty, reliability, and accountability. I feel like those 4 were really the foundation of the 4 of us. I feel like all 4 of us brought that to the table, which made work a lot more easier. And oh, I'm so sorry. And in that sense, it kind of helped us avoid the communication apprehension, the fear and anxiety of speaking to one another, and we could just get right into the point because we did take those first couple of days to kind of get to know each other and just talk about, sorry to say it, but everything but what we were supposed to. But it was great. It came out to be the best thing ever. So, all right, another question I have for you guys is, what did you think was the most challenging aspect of us working together? And when it came to compromise or setting down clear ideas of boundaries, did you guys find anything difficult in terms of finding the right solution, a common ground between all of us?
I honestly don't even think we had a lot of challenges, but I think all we had was small things where one of us couldn't make this time to work together. But I honestly don't think we ever disagreed or argued or had really any major challenges that would affect our group work.
Yeah.
So I just think we got over that pretty well.
Yeah.
I think if anything, we were able to talk to each other about it. And I feel like that was the most important thing, was if something did pop up where something wasn't working out or somebody was confused with something, we weren't really shy to text the group chat and give it to each other straight, be like,
100%.
We can't do this, I don't know what I'm doing, I need help. We weren't very shy on that, which I think helped a ton, because then we all were very aware of what was going on with each other, and were able to if needed, pick up for one another, or take a few steps back and rely on each other. It was easy to rely on each other, I feel like.
Wait, sorry, before you guys say anything, I wanted to kind of ask you another question with that. Do you think those moments, times where we kind of maybe disagreed but talked about it, overall improved our collective intelligence? How we always talked about being an emotionally intelligent group, and how we feel we understand each other better. Do you think that aspect helped us get more experience with the collective intelligence between the 4 of us?
Yeah, I feel especially because we are at the end of the day, we don't really know each other that well.
Yeah.
So the fact that we were thrown into a group together, and we're kind of seeing each other every day, and trying to make things work. If there was a situation that we weren't agreeing upon, I feel it helped us learn more about each other and what we expect from the group, or what we expect out of our projects or whatever. I feel it just helped get everybody on the same page, even though we're all technically kind of strangers. And we don't really know each other, but we were still able to get onto the same page.
Yeah, in a way, I feel it helped us develop a bunch of norms in our group, and it also I feel the only thing we really struggled with is having too many ideas at once. But we definitely talked through that, and we shaped it out in a way that worked with the group and worked with our goals. So I think that's the only thing. Other than that, I feel we understood each other a lot.
Yeah, I agree with both of those. 100%.
The next question that I have is kind of very similar to this one, so I kind of want to avoid that, because it was what moments or changes showed us moving from just a group of individuals into a more collaborative and coordinated team, which I feel like we just talked about that. But, like, thinking of the Tuckman's model of, like, the early stages of, like, group development, how we have, like, forming and storming, and, like, when, like, the group forms and there's still tension, like, I just wanted to put that out there that, like, I feel like for some reason we got lucky enough to avoid that stage, and, like, we got right into norming and, like, being supportive of one another and trying to always help each other out. Rather, it was just with, like, a single thing on the assignment, like checking over, like, the work one more time, or, like, actually submitting the assignments on time. Like, I feel like it also, like, brought us, like, into, like, a norm, which, like, ties to my next question of, like, over, like, the past 6 weeks, we have gotten to know each other so well, where, like, we had, like, expectations set of each other, I would say, almost. And, like, we always knew that, like, after class, like Avery was gonna text, like, what time do we want to meet? Or, like, Brooklyn would be like, did everyone, like, get their work done? Like, can I submit this paper? Is everything finalized? Like, we would just have these, like, roles, like, norms in a sense of just, like, having that trust in each other when, like, one person says one thing, like, it's done and it's gonna continue working. So, okay, next question. What specifically, because I just mentioned this, but what specific norms do you guys think we have naturally developed, and how have they helped us or hurt us, like, overall? Like, rather it was us meeting with each other, or, like, us in class when we even have that, like, spare time of conversation, and, like, even thinking of, like, the presentations that we actually had physically in front of class, or, like, the research that we had to do on our own. Like, do you guys think of any norms that we have naturally developed?
I feel like just kind of being chill.
Just being chill. Okay, that's honest.
Like,
that's honest.
I honestly feel like we don't really have, like, necessarily, like, an out of the ordinary norm. I feel like we all just kind of, like, treat each other like friends almost. Like as soon as we got together, like, that it just kind of clicked, and we were just like, okay, like, we're all friends. We're all doing the same thing.
Do you
like,
think that, like, sorry, I just cut through you.
Go ahead.
Do you think that, like, made us more productive then? Like, the fact that we thought of each other as friends and not just as, like, group members?
Yeah, and I feel like in ways. I feel like, like, like I said earlier, like, I feel like when we would, like, get together in groups, sometimes we would talk about other things instead of, like, our work for a solid 80% of the time, but we still were able to, like, get our stuff done. You know what I mean? I feel like we like created that norm of, like, all right, we can, like, talk about things, we can get distracted, like, it's okay, but, like, get the work done.
Yes.
That's kind of like how we functioned.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I feel like none of us were like, oh, like, we've been talking for too long, like, we need to get this done, like, it's not gonna be finished. Like, none of us were, like, worried about that, because I feel like in a way, like you were saying, like, it also made us more productive, because I feel like how you, like, wrote down before, like, the comfortability with each other just, like, makes everything, like, flow better, like, communication-wise. And no one really, like, ever felt like, oh, we're being unproductive. Like, it was just, like, our reward time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to add on what, like, you were saying, like, I feel like we, like, really developed the norm of being organized. Like, during class, we'd already be like, okay, so what time do we want to meet? Like, what do we want to work on? Like, what are we getting done in this meeting, and what are we getting done in, like, the next meeting? And, like, I feel like that's, like, a norm we really, like, that really helped us, like, get our work done and get it done, like, right.
Do you guys think we avoided groupthink? Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Do you guys think we,
I
like...
honestly think that we didn't.
Yeah.
Like, being
Really?
so honest.
No, that's...
I
no,
think that,
guys,
like,
I just... That,
being so genuinely honest, I think at some points, like, and I think we all, like, collectively agreed on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Just because, like, there wasn't, like, too much to, like, disagree on for, like, some of the topics that we've had. But, like, I feel like once somebody said something, we were all just like, yeah. Like, we would all just be like, yeah. Like, yeah.
There's...
Especially because we're so, like, similar, and we're so, like how you were saying, like, chill, like, we're, like, go with the flow, whatever, like, we're just, like, if someone says something, like, yeah, I agree, like, let's just do that, and then we just, like, did it. Like,
Do you think that works out for the better or the worse, though, like, overall?
I think it worked out for us. I mean,
I
I
think it
think
did.
I don't
I
think
think
we
so,
had
too.
like too many crazy drawbacks. And like the one time that we did, remember when we did that our last assignment and we filled out the entire like facilitation outline, and then we were like, oh, we did this wrong.
Yeah.
And like we didn't realize it until the night before because we were all in that like thought process of, oh, this is what we're supposed to do because like one person
Yeah.
said it,
Yeah.
and like and we all just did it because that's what. Then nobody really like looked carefully into the directions, and then I was about to like submit it, and I looked at the directions. I was like, oh, we did that wrong.
Yeah, but we fixed
So-
it, so it was like fine. Like,
yeah,
it's
and then
okay.
but we
Yeah.
all fixed it. I feel
Yeah.
like on like big things like that, we were able to like kind of get out of like the group thing.
Yeah.
But for
Yeah.
the small things that like are like individual, like our projects were kind of more broad. Like we all were able to like agree on one thing.
Yeah,
So
we,
I
like-
get.
What it was.
Sorry, I guess we can conclude that maybe group thing is not that bad overall. Maybe it's
Yeah.
not. Maybe it's
we
not.
like all thought the same way.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I don't know if it's us or if it's the group
Just
thing
like having
or.
things in common.
Yeah, well, another thing that I kind of said that I feel like we have already talked about is how has our understanding of each other's strengths and working styles improved over the past few weeks? Like, how would we interact if this like teamwork, like this team and like this group work continued to happen? Because we were just like talking about like groupthink and like, do you guys think if we continued working with like together as a group and like, I don't know, let's say for another semester or something, do you guys think that agreed upon groupthink would overpower like our like productivity and like our like honesty, maybe even?
I think something about our group is that we did not go through like a stage of like conflict between each other.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that if like because I believe that there's always like
Something.
a point in
Yeah.
like a relationship of some kind where like there's always going to be some sort of clash, and we did not have that. So like I feel like if we were to keep working, eventually we would hit that
Yeah,
at some
for sure.
point. I don't know what that would look like, but I think that could happen. But I think that in general, if we were to keep working together, like we already have like such a good foundation, and like like I see you guys outside and I'm just like, hey, like
Yeah.
you know, like I don't think necessarily like it would end up like to shreds, but
No.
Mhm.
I think that like we already have like a good solid relationship. and if we kept
100%.
on
I also
Yeah.
think that's normal because like at one point like every group is gonna like hit a challenge or hit a conflict and they're gonna argue or disagree or whatever. But I feel like in that case like it's important to like have like a bond with each other because then I feel like it just like makes it easier to like overcome conflict.
Yeah.
Okay,
think so,
well, with that said, we could talk about this topic forever. I think we have developed as a group very, very well. What'd you say? Yeah, I know. And we have to
Oh, no.
summarize this point. Basically, we clearly shared our opinions on group development and how we think each one of us contributed to our success overall. We talked a little bit about the communication apprehension and how we reacted to each other's like setbacks or like compromise. And I think we summarized those 6 weeks very well in terms of how we have changed emotionally and intelligently.
Yeah.
So we can
sure.
move on to our second topic.
Social processes.
There we go.
So basically just like the relationships, like how we were literally like just talking about like the effect our relationships had on the group and the work that we did and just like overall like how we like bonded together and like what effects like it had on us. So for my first question, do you guys think we were successful in like creating and maintaining like our cohesiveness as a group?
Okay, I'm going to start this off because maybe that's just something that I realized, but like I feel like at first, like we were trying to be so cohesive. Like we tried to fit together so well at first that like it like kind of even like created that like not even like a tension, but just like kind of like
A weird gap.
yes, like
Yeah.
a little like, oh my God, like what's going on? Like we don't really know. But then the more we like worked together, like progressively got better to the point where like our cohesiveness got so good where like it couldn't be
Yeah.
any better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
Like,
just
for
me,
sure. Yeah, I definitely think that like
You're good.
collaborating together like definitely help with like cohesiveness because like I feel like we never really had anything like a disagreement or like anything like bad to say. Like it was all like pretty good, and we all had like a good
Yes.
yes, like, we all had a good like relationship, and it just made things like a lot easier.
Do you guys think like there were like any like specific things that like especially like strengthened our cohesiveness, such as like trust, communication, like respect? Like what do you think was like the most important factor within our group that like helped us be more cohesive, if you can think of any?
Communication, for sure. Like I
Okay.
feel like that was very key, and it was just like very important to us, because I feel like without communication we would have been like so lost, like
1000%.
genuinely. So I think like talking with each other step by step in the process of like doing an assignment or just like brainstorming, like that was like immensely like impactful.
Yeah. Well, personally, can't like really think of any times, but do you think there's like any times where our cohesion like kind of like fell through and we weren't as like cohesive? I don't think there is, but I wanted to ask you guys.
Yes, actually.
Really?
Yes, because there was a I think it was the last assignment where like it just like things just got kind of like crazy in like our
yeah.
personal lives, and like there were certain things that just like happened, and it kind of like it wasn't anybody's, it was like out of our control, so it kind of just like, mind my language, but screwed us over.
It like messed up our balance,
And like it definitely like kind of screwed over our balance, and like because that like didn't happen to us before, I think we got a little like lost and like didn't know where everyone else was at. But like overall, like towards like whenever we like came together about it, like we were able to like get everything done. It was fine.
Yeah.
But I think just like when like a little thing like happened, and like I feel like that we weren't prepared for something like that, and like it just made the balance get a little wonky. But we recovered well. I was like, we definitely like came out of it, and we're
I mean, I feel like everything happens for the first time. Like everyone experiences that one thing, and it's never going to happen to you until it does.
yeah.
So that's how I can conclude Brooklyn's point.
In what ways do you guys think like group climate, like the atmosphere of our group affected like our communication, progression and progress?
Stop.
Progression in projects. I literally can't talk. I'm screwing all my words up.
It's
Or
okay.
like
It's
connectingness, motivation. So like, what ways did our group climate affect all of those? Sorry, I couldn't talk.
I mean, I think we had a very supportive climate in general.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what even, like, rather we were talking about something, like an aspect of, like, teamwork, like, group work, like an assignment, whatever we were doing, like, you knew that you could say anything because you knew that, like, no one would judge you for it. And we were kind of, like, no matter if we, like, were to talk about like a stupid decision that we made over the weekend, or like something that we messed up in during like the public speaking presentation that we had, there was always like, I feel like at least in the back of my head, like I knew that like I had you guys to like support me, even if it was like, sorry, but like the dumbest idea ever. Like you guys would definitely tell me and be like honest, like, hey, like maybe this is not something we do, but at least at the end of the day, like I knew that you guys would be honest. And
No one's gonna be like, oh my God, Polo, like why'd you say that? Why'd you do that?
Yeah,
Like, we're not
exactly.
Like
There was always a way to like improve and
Yeah.
everything. Like with our like group climate, like we were always like very like supportive. We just like knew how to make someone feel better when they were like feeling insecure.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Or like
sorry.
no,
No,
you're
continue.
or like when they were like reaching their goals, like you know how we had goals at the beginning of the semester, like something like that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm so excited to look back on my goals. I don't even remember.
Yeah,
like,
I don't remember
what I wrote down, and I
I
really
think mine was interrupting because
Yeah.
I just
I feel like we all kind of have that in there.
Yeah.
Interruption.
We just always like getting our thoughts out. It's fine.
Yeah.
Do you guys think having like a positive group climate like made you like more motivated to like go do group work? Because I feel like, at least for me, like when I was like working in other groups, like say like in high school, I'd be like, oh, like I have to go do this project later, like it's so annoying, blah blah blah. But like when I'm like working with you guys, I just like know it's like more even like a hangout.
Mhm.
Like we're just like
Yeah.
hanging out, but we're like doing work at the same time.
Yeah.
And, like I think we have a
Exactly.
really good balance. But do you guys think like made your motivation higher and like are you more engaged?
Yeah,
Wants
I
to
think
go? Go ahead.
I think like whenever like I knew that we had to do it, I was like, ugh, I don't want to do this anymore. But then like we would get there and we would all sit down, we'd like throw our bags on the floor and we'd be like, guys,
Yeah.
and like
Shoes off,
everything,
no,
yeah,
rock
shoes
it.
off, like and like laptops out. We're all like laying on the counter, like dying inside. Like
No, I think it was like awesome,
fun.
though.
Like
Yeah.
it just ended up being like funny.
I think it was so awesome. I
Yeah.
think it definitely brought me a lot more motivation. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
obviously at this, like, first of all, we're technically in summer school. Like, no one's gonna want to do anything. Like, not like
Yeah.
that, but like everyone wishes we had like a summer, and like all these assignments like are obviously like out of our control. But I felt that like the fact that I had to do this with you guys made it a lot easier for me. Not even a lot like easier like physically, like actually doing this, but like mentally, like something that I've always struggled with is like staying on track and like keeping myself organized to the point where like I can reach the goal of like a certain task or something. And just knowing that like I was having to get out of bed or do this or do that, but it was like for the goal of the group and it was all of us together working on it, it made it so much easier for me. And like I actually wanted to go out there and help out, like obviously you guys, and put in as much effort as I could.
Yeah.
And like I feel like that like worked out for the best anyway. So
Yeah, honestly, for me, it didn't even feel like summer school. Like, it was that fun. Like,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I said summer camp.
yeah.
I literally like
Yeah.
I would tell my parents, they were like, "How's school going?" I'm like, "Guys, I'm
love
in
camp.
summer camp. Like I love this. Like don't
Yeah.
even."
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys think as a group, like, how did we like enhance our emotional intelligence? So like between like confidence, awareness, control, empathy. How did we build our emotional intelligence?
I'm thinking
Think.
there's so many ways to answer this
Yeah, I
question.
think,
That's why I'm.
I
looking
think
for
a part of
somebody.
it was like again, like we keep saying this over and over again, but it's like just real. Like we're all like really good friends at this point, and I think like a part of improving like our emotional intelligence is just like the fact that we spent so much time together. We just like were like, I don't want to say watching. That sounds so creepy, but like
we were watching each
watching
other.
each other like all the time.
Who doesn't do that?
And like I just like to the point where like Pola comes into class and I instantly know there is something that
I'm
she's
gonna say,
say.
yeah.
Like
You have to
I don't
mentally
know. It's
prepare.
just like
Yeah.
you
sorry.
watch people, and after like a certain amount of time, you just like there are certain cues that you just like pick up on. I
Mhm.
don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I feel like even back to the people watching, even when we were sitting and like during one of our meetings, like whether that was in like Sprout, the library, or anything, Pinchot, sorry. I never know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. It's my hall too. How hilarious is that? Wherever we were sitting and doing our work, I feel like I was watching you guys too. And like when someone like brought up an idea or like did something and like one of us like maybe even like gave like a nonverbal cue, like, like I don't know. Like I felt like we tried to get out, like have each other like talk like about it. Oh my gosh, I just like glitched. But we tried always talking things out, and I think like the nonverbal communication, at least for me, I feel like it increased in terms of my emotional intelligence, because I feel like I can tell when you guys, even by like your faces or like how you guys even sit in class in your seats, like I feel like I know when something is up. I feel like I know when something's up, and like after the weekend when Avery comes when Avery comes back to state from her hometown, like I'll always be like, what happened this weekend? Because I feel like she just sits weird in class sometimes on Mondays. Like, I don't know. But
How do you think like our emotional intelligence was from the beginning of the semester to now? How do you think it changed and why?
oh my God, I think it changed a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe it's this class in general and like actually like going through the material, and like I feel like learning about things that are quote unquote emotionally intelligent make you more emotionally intelligent. Like I feel like once you are aware of like, I don't know, like role development, how we talked about, or like Tuckman's model, or like the big six, like in terms of personality, like whatever we like we're learning about. I feel like the more aware you are of a subject, the more likely you are to like include it in like your thinking.
Yeah.
So I feel like we started off by obviously not, well, I don't know if you guys considered each other emotionally intelligent before this or not, but I feel like whatever that starting point of ours was, it's definitely like times like 50 that.
Yeah.
Just and I feel like it's not even from like all these interactions and stuff, but like just like the awareness that we have of like another person in the room, and like obviously because of Ben, like, we know all of this now.
Like I feel like just like reading you guys, like I can tell like if something's up, or like just like those nonverbal cues. I think that like have actually like grown over the semester, because like when I first met you guys, like I didn't know how to like read you guys. Like I just like I don't know, like I didn't know anything about you, but like now over like the semester, I can tell like just the little things that
This is
Yeah.
making me
I
sad.
know. I feel
Yeah.
like there's so
Yeah.
much progress. I'm proud of us.
I
Yeah,
know.
me
I think
too.
a part of it is like I went to like the same school for my entire life, and like I have known the same people since kindergarten to like my senior year, and so when I would be doing projects, it would be with like the same people and that I have known since I was like 5.
It's like, I
so-
got second grade.
Like, and it's like, and the fact that I was like going to a completely like new school and like not knowing anyone has like never been the case for me. And so like when we like hopped into class and got put into a group together, like I had never dealt with like a situation like for like a school project like with complete strangers. So I think that like helped me like kind of learn how that is supposed to look, and I think I got really lucky because obviously like we all get along really really well, but like I think that like that definitely helped me a ton, because I think I always considered myself emotionally intelligent, and then like I got placed into a group with complete strangers and I was like, wait, I don't know
You're, like, rethinking.
how
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
talk to these people.
I will just like add like, sorry, before I know guys time.
I know.
But I think that was like, do you guys remember how like at first we were put in like the groups that we were sitting next to? Like we were
Yeah.
sitting next to each other
Yeah.
at first, and then like I remember when like this big switch was made of like actually switching your group, and like Ben telling us that, hey, like you're gonna be working with this group for the rest of the semester. Like I was like in shock. I was like, what? Like I feel like I just made this like little connection with these 2 or like 3 people that were sitting around me the first and second day, and now I'm like completely ripped out of that group and put in another group. Obviously that raised my anxiety, but
Yeah.
I think it definitely helped all of us, not only me, in
Definitely.
terms of just like getting to that like forming point, like forming that group and like breaking the pattern of just like being a group member, not like a emotional group member, if you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I know like for like my next question, we talked like a lot about like our like interpersonal relationships already. So I'm just gonna like kind of like steer towards like another side of it. Do you guys think there are any negative effects that like our interpersonal relationships had on like our work or just like being in a group together?
Do you want to start?
I mean, like, I really don't think, aside from, like, obviously, within the past, like, 6 weeks, like, we've all had, like, personal issues, I feel like. And not that it was, like, necessarily any of our businesses to, like, get into that. But, like, I feel like, I don't know. There are situations that are like out of your control that you just kind of have to pick yourself up out of, and I feel like our group did that for each other.
Yeah.
Because like I think you guys all know about this. My grandfather like died really like early in, and that was like kind of a struggle for me. I didn't really know what I was doing, and I kind of got like out of like school mode for like a little bit, and I feel like when we like were talking about that, and I was like able to kind of like come to you guys about that and just be like, hey, just like letting you guys know what's going on. And I kind of kept it very like formal and just, hey, just like letting you know this is going on. Like
I remember when you told us,
got
I felt
text
so
messages back, just like, if you need me, I'm here. Like it got so much more personal than just like professional schoolwork type
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
I think that like even if there were conflicts that like came up, like we all were able to like pick each other up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really think there were any negatives to like having like our relationship.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah, I
always
don't
very
think so either.
supportive and
Yeah.
there for
I don't
each
know
other.
if this sounds like weird to say, but I feel like also another thing that helped us avoid conflict was that like even though we spent this makes me sound like so like bad, but like we didn't hang out that much outside
Yeah.
of doing work. And like I feel like even though like our lives were so connected throughout this and like anytime you'd pick up my phone, like there'd be a text from CAS 100B, and it was one of us. Like we were consistently texting, we were consistently a part of each other's routine. But I think the fact that like our group got to hang out outside of our personal social settings, and like the groups that we continue to spend our time with on a daily basis, like I think that is a big factor of why like that conflict never occurred. And like we didn't like have the need for conflict really. Like we were at the end of the day, like we were such like a tight and on focus group. Like remember that we had no like crossovers with anything like outside of this, which like is like obviously good for our group, but like you know what I mean? Or does that like
Yeah.
do you guys know what I'm even
Yeah.
talking about?
No,
Like I
yeah,
feel like I
I
explained that
understand.
very
Do
bad.
you guys like agree that like having friendships with one another like helped us like really like avoid challenges?
Yeah.
And if we did have challenges, like overcome them easier?
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think if there was something to be brought up, like even right now, if
Yeah.
we were get like some crazy information about one another, and there would to be like a freak out or like an argument, I feel like we'd be able to like talk it out immediately on the spot.
Yeah.
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 I think our comfort level is like up there to a point of like we can come to each other about anything like that.
No, yeah.
Like we were always there for each other, and like we just like felt very comfortable with each other to the point where it's just like we could tell each other like anything and like
Yeah.
not be embarrassed or anything.
No,
Yeah.
100%. We're all like always there for each other. We're very supportive, no judgment. We always have respect, awareness, aka our emotional intelligence and our group climate. But my next question was really like similar to everything we just talked about, like how like our relational climate like kind of like shaped the way we communicate. And I think we talked a lot about that. So I'm just gonna kind of like sum this up. But I feel like we just like realize like how like important like having like a bond and a friendship is like in like a group, because not only does it like help you overcome challenges and conflicts easier, it just like lets you be more comfortable. You feel like you're not being judged. Like there's always respect. We're always gonna like be there for each other. Like I feel like we all think like we're able to like say any stupid idea and like no one's gonna care. And I think we're able to take like criticism from each other very easily when like other people would get offended. So I just think we realize like how important having like these relationships are in a group. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right.
Great summary.
You start?
Yeah. So like throughout the semester, we like each picked up a role in like each assignment. We like made sure to like I feel like there was no pauses or weird breaks in between our discussions, and like we just always had something like to say, rather like if it was like helpful or like just like something we could work on. And like we always had like a good way of like collaborating for like a strong reason. Like we always had a good connection, just like that. So I guess what I want to ask you guys is like, which role function category do you think like help the group and the productivity? Like, do you think like task roles help better, like change oriented roles, or social emotional roles? Like,
I have to think about that.
Wait,
I have to think about that
can you,
too.
Can you
Yeah.
rephrase?
Yes.
so like, do you think like having like a structured set of like roles help better, or like if we tied in emotions to that, like those kinds of roles, or like if we had to adapt?
I think we didn't really have any like set structure. I think a lot of the reason, and I think this is why we worked out like decently well, is we just kind of went into it just like, all right, let's all just like get together and like work together for as much as
Has
we
to be.
can. And then
Yeah.
like if we had to go home and do some solo work, that's what we would do. But we went into it with like no structured plan.
Yeah.
and like just kind of would bounce ideas off of each other for each part, and like just in general, like I think we went through the entire process like mainly together, and then if things needed help, we would go home and like
help each other out.
and fix things up.
I also
sorry.
do you want to go?
Yeah.
Go ahead. We're good.
I just think like kind of like similar to what you were saying, we all had like an increased like sense of like flexibility. We were just like kind of like fine with whatever, and I feel like that like also like helped us like get like work done. Like we all had like maybe like different roles for different assignments, but I think whatever we did do, like we helped each other out and we worked well with what like we were doing, like in whatever role we had.
I think like as you mentioned, like task oriented and whatever, I think we were always task structured, but like without actually putting it out there. Like I feel like every project that we had, we kind of began by being like, okay, so like what do you guys want to do? Like, does anyone prefer this more than that? And like I feel like even though there wasn't like a set role that we had every single time, it kind of just came together naturally even.
Yeah.
Like we knew that like if one of us started to be like, hey, like I want to do that part, then like someone else would be like, okay, you can do this part, I'll do this part. And like it kind of always just like came to that common ground and the compromise that we talked about previously.
Yeah, we were never like, no, like I wanted that one and then like argued over it. We were all just like, okay, like you could have that one, I'll do this one. Like, and we we're all fine with what we did. Like even with this, like we were like, oh, who wants to do task, who wants to do social, like and so on, and we were all like, okay, like that's fine, like we're all fine with whatever we have to do.
Yeah, I agree. We were like very open towards like, we didn't like put it out there, but like we just like assumed and we made good assumptions on like what we were in charge of and things like that.
Yeah.
So like I think my like next question for you guys is like, how do you think like collaborating after a disagreement like benefited the group, like, or if we like didn't have like a disagreement, like collaborating in general, how did that benefit the group?
I feel like every time that like someone goes against what you think and what you believe and how you feel, you're always gonna think like, oh, of course they disagreed with me, or like have some kind of like response to that, being like, okay, like they rejected my idea, whatever. And like I think our collaboration after someone like didn't fully agree with another person was like helpful, and like it not even that it like brought up your confidence, but it was just like, hey, like even though like maybe Brooklyn didn't like my idea enough, now she gave me feedback about it, and now I feel like I feel better about continuing working with her. I feel like that collaboration that we had after like a quote unquote small disagreement or conflict just made us like rebuild our confidence in a sense in like a group setting. You know what I mean?
I feel like it like also like say like after an agreement, like what you were just saying, it like allowed us to like adapt to each other's like ideas and preferences, and just like how I was saying before, like allowed us to like take like criticism well. Like none of us are like gonna be like judging each other, but I also think like us disagreeing with each other, like, which honestly it wasn't even that common, but like when it did, like I feel like it just like brought in new perspectives, and it was like, oh, like maybe I could think about something this way, or Brooklyn said this, so like maybe I'll think about it her way. And I feel like it just like brings in like new ideas and like helps us like think deeper into a topic and be more understanding.
Yeah, definitely like the new perspectives is like part of it. Like I feel like it didn't keep us like off track. It just like helped us like motivate.
Get to the point.
And, like helped us like get going to like the point where we just accomplished our goals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay. So we talked about the roles. So how do we feel like specific and different roles, like such as like leaders, organizers, and like team builders, like how did that help with the determination?
Wait, do you guys think we like had that? Who would you guys vote off for that?
Wait.
But
Can
like
you
with
rephrase
like
that? Hold on, my mind is like all over the place.
like who would be
who did what? Like
Yeah,
no,
like-
that type of question.
I don't know.
Yeah. Like how did we we didn't really like state who was like the leader of the group or like the team builder, but like how do we think like those kinds of roles like helped us?
I would like to put a personal honorable mention for Brooklyn, because I think, at least in my eyes, Brooklyn was such a natural, awesome, amazing leader.
Aw.
Honestly, I'm not like putting you guys down, not at all. You guys are great.
'Cause I agree.
But
I agree too.
I think you really stepped up, like without even like realizing, and that's a great
Yeah.
thing.
No, I appreciate that.
Listen, it's a great thing, especially in like while we're learning about like how to work in a group, and you already having that skill like right off the bat is like awesome. And like keep that in mind, girl, because because I'm like wowed with you.
Yeah.
Obsessed
No,
with you.
I agree.
Nice. I appreciate it.
No, and like
100%,
no,
100%.
so it doesn't like sound like wrong.
No, I get what you're
No,
saying.
yeah, I get it
agree.
too. Yeah, I
Okay,
agree
good.
100%.
I don't think I
Seriously.
have like that type of
That
like leadership
mentality.
role like
Yes.
that you
Yeah.
have. Like I'm more of like like whatever you guys want to do, like
Yeah.
I'm fine with whatever. Like just tell me what you want me to do, and you're more like, okay, like let's
do
do
this.
Let's
Yes!
get this done.
Yes, right,
It's
yeah.
like okay,
And
I
that
don't
is a
have that
great
much
trait.
initiative.
That is a great
Guys.
trait.
Oh
You
my
got
God.
this.
Okay.
You got
I
this.
appreciate it. Y'all make me blush.
It's fine.
She's shy.
It's
So like
fine.
to elaborate on that, like how do we feel like individually, like what role like we played in like our group process and our group development throughout the semester?
Start us off.
I don't know. Like I was saying before, I feel like we're very flexible. Like I feel like at times, like even if it was like the same project we were working on, like depending on the day, like we're all kind of like different like vibes, and like we'll like all work on like something different. I feel like we took on different roles, like depending on like our mood and like how like other people are doing. But I feel like always Brooklyn like was low key our leader.
Yeah.
No, but it wasn't
She
like
helped us. She brought us through.
it wasn't like a bad leadership thing.
No,
like,
it wasn't
at
like,
all.
oh, you
See,
do
like,
this and you do this. It was like, guys, like, let's, like, make sure we get this done. It was, like,
Yeah.
more of that type of thing.
She doesn't even realize, like, this was, like, probably a surprise to her by the way that she looks right now. You guys see that? and like, seriously,
Wait,
it
get
was,
the camera like
it
on.
was, oh, yeah,
Oh
I
my
got you.
God.
Guys, look at that. like, it was awesome. It was seriously awesome. Honorable mention, #1 place winner.
No,
like,
I think
I'll
the
draw you a
MVP.
trophy.
Yeah.
Okay, we do have
My
to get
turn.
going
I
because
think,
we got time.
Okay, yeah. Kind of like going forth with the roles because they wanted to hype me up for a while. Let's talk about this. Alize stayed up like doing work with me like when I like begged her because like we would like try to get something done, then I'd be like, oh no, we did this wrong. And like I like would like text her, I'd be like, please help. And like we would like stay up late and like do some stuff and everything like that.
See that.
You
And Avery always like she always has something else that she wants to incorporate into everything. That was like kind of like her thing. Like we would have an idea and we would put out there, and Avery would be like,
Wait.
all right, let's put this in it and
Yes,
this in it and
yes.
this. How do we
Yeah.
feel about this? And like she would low key like bring all of the like outside of the box aspects into
yes.
like and to make it
Agreed,
like so
agreed,
hard.
agreed,
Yeah.
Every
agreed.
second. It's not a
Agreed.
minute. Go.
And then Pola is just, I think the best thing about you is
I'm
just
scared.
the fact that you are able to communicate like so well with
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
Really?
I agree.
Yes,
Talk
that
very
is
well.
like immediately the thing about Pola is you start talking to her and you think like, okay, we've been best friends for like 8 years.
Aw, stop.
Like she's very good with like being such a good people person and like was able to like if we had like a presentation of some kind, like she was always like the one to speak first because she would like ease up the tension and it didn't feel
There's
like a
no such
presentation.
thing as
And I
TMI.
feel like
Yeah.
that
Guys.
it made us work so good like as a group together because we all had like different but like super important things to contribute. And like it just made us flow so easily because
Yeah.
we all
Yeah.
had like similar personalities to like a point where we were able to like come to good like points within the group and like agree on everything, but we also had different like aspects of like things that we could bring into the group to make it even stronger.
Yeah.
Guys, this is
I
so like
agree.
positive and cute because Paul
Yeah.
like constantly about Brooke and then Brooklyn's like complimenting everybody
Stop,
else.
guys, I can't. Literally,
Guys,
I'm
no
gonna
crying.
cry.
All right, next question.
Okay.
No,
next
no
question.
crying.
Okay.
No crying.
So
Wait,
like,
we have to like.
Yeah, we gotta.
We
Yeah.
got 11 minutes
We're
left.
getting carried
And
away.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
So like, what functions of facilitation like were easy to apply to our group and like to summarize this like what positions do we think like were better in like certain projects like win or lose mentality or like reliance authority or something like that? Like, how did we feel about
I feel
that?
like we didn't really have like a win or lose mentality
Yeah.
at all. I feel like we just kind of all like had the mentality of like, let's do our best. Let's have fun with this. Let's not make this, like, into this super serious, awful, like, school type thing. Let's, like, take the project and, like, make it fun.
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
And I feel like that was just kind of our mentality. And yeah, we would get stuff done. Yeah, we would shoot for the grade. But at the end of the day, like, we weren't, like,
we tried to enjoy our
so
time.
focused on the grade to the point where, like, we didn't, like, form any type of, like, connection outside of that.
And, like, maybe that's just me, but I feel like that helped me, like, actually understand this class a lot better.
Yeah.
Like, we obviously, everyone goes to college and everyone wants to have good grades.
Yeah.
We are so aware of that. But I feel like us working in this, as we said, like, supportive and more, like, non-judgmental climate, I felt like I could actually apply the knowledge that we're learning in class to our, like, discussions, our meetings, like, us even just, like, sharing even facts about our day.
Yeah.
Like, I made sure that if something was so significant, I made sure everyone was listening. Like, you guys know what I mean? I try to, like, actually apply my knowledge from class into our conversation, and I feel like that's what, like, will stick with me the most, honestly.
Yeah.
No, because literally at first I was like when we first started this class, I was like, oh, it's about like group collaboration. I was like, I know how to work in a group. I love working in groups. I'd rather do that than work alone. But then this class like made me realize like so many things like I'm doing wrong in a group. Like
And
they pointed out how much I interrupt people. Like
I just did that.
I never like thought about interrupting people until this class. So I was like, oh shoot, I really suck as a group member. Like I need to shut up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, yeah, I like totally get like the different things.
I'm sorry, we literally have like no
okay.
time.
Yeah, we can wrap this up. So like we talked about how like roles like really helped in our group and like made sure like these kinds of roles like helped us stay on track. And then we talked about like strategies on like how to keep the conversation going and then like justifying like our decisions.
Yes.
So
Okay, so moving on, we're kind of going to do a speed round, but it's okay because I feel like this is the easiest one to talk about because I'm talking about deliberation, which is conflict management, negotiation, and group values. And I think we hit a lot of those points already about how great our group is and how we don't really have to deal with too much conflict. So my first question is, how does everyone here feel about their viewpoints when it comes to group consideration? Like, does everybody feel like we were able to consider each other's thoughts and everything like that?
Yes. I literally had that like written down in mine, but I didn't get to it because of like time, obviously. But I think everyone like was always like, anytime like even if it was like a stupid thing someone was saying, we were always heard. What we were saying was always considered. Like no one ever was just like no and then moved on. Like we would like talk about it, and even if it was a stupid idea, like say I said something stupid, you guys would be like, oh, like, and you'll, like, try to think about it, but then you're like, oh, like, maybe we shouldn't go with that, or that's not, like, a good idea. But I think no matter what, everyone was, like, always heard, and everyone's thoughts and opinions, information was always considered, no matter what.
And going off of that, do you think that there is any way that we can ensure, like, better inclusivity, or do you think we are, like, at a peak?
I think we did really good with it.
Yeah.
I think, I cannot think of a time where, like, me or, like, any of you guys, like, said something and we were just, like, ignored or just, like, turned down immediately.
Never.
We always, like, talked about something that someone wanted to say.
Yeah. All right. Next, how effective do you think our group was at staying focused on core issues?
No.
Don't watch this podcast.
Turn it off.
Staying focused. Look at us. Okay.
I
go
mean,
ahead.
I kind of want to just like wrap this up, like to not like make myself go overboard with this question. I feel like we stayed so focused in such an unfocused way, if that makes sense. We sat there and we actually made sure that everything was done in the period of time that we were there for. Like, if not, we did this like alone on our own time, whatever. Yeah. But throughout that that group work, we'd always just like chat each other up. And it was, but like that's what made us better and that's what made us work. That's literally what just made us work.
Yeah.
And do I think we're at the top peak inclusivity right now? Yes, 100%. I think any single one of us like should, at least from my opinion, in terms of how I am, like you guys should all equally feel the same, like included in how I think of you and how I like react to your words and actions because I don't know. I just think we have gotten very deep, and
I agree.
and it's awesome.
Yeah.
It is.
In what ways did like the challenges of group conflict, if any, change your perspective on certain topics?
Wait,
Go ahead.
Can you rephrase that?
So like
I was like listening, and then like all the words got
so
jumbled
like
in my head.
if you're thinking about like any type of like conflict or challenge that we like had to face, like did it change like any of your perspectives on certain things?
I
Like
feel like we just like were able to take each other's perspectives into consideration, and like that definitely like helped us like learn about each other a lot more. Instead of like it being a challenge, it was actually like useful to like work better in a group rather than just like oh, this is my idea, I'm gonna stick with it, like I don't care what anybody else says.
Going off what Alize said, like literally, I feel like we're literally like glazing our group. Sorry to use that word, but we're so awesome. We have no conflict. So let's put that in a different like scenario. Let's say that we were brainstorming an idea and someone said something that goes against what other people think. And I think in those situations, if we can consider that type of conflict, because besides that, we didn't really have anything bigger than that, we handled it very well. And like, I think, sorry, what was the question again? Oh, challenges of group conflict change your perspectives on certain topics. I think when, let's say, my idea got rejected and that type of conflict, like my mind versus your guys' minds, were to be brought up to me, like, it honestly, just like Owsley said, like made me like reflect on that. And like I was like, hey, like that's okay. Like I thought it was a great idea, but let's hear them out. Like they probably have something better to say.
Yeah.
Like if I was so confident in what I was wanting to say, to like actually like verbally say it out there and be like, hey, I think we should collectively do this. If you guys are disagreeing with that, then that just like gives me room to be like, hey, like that was a good idea, but they probably have something better. And I just have to accept it.
Exactly.
And
It's
like,
just a new perspective.
Yeah,
I was talking
it
about this
is.
a while ago. It's just new perspectives, and I think that's like really important because that goes into like just consideration.
yeah.
yeah. So what rules or like strategies do you think contributed the most to like our success when dealing with like problems or like issues or just in general like getting through a task that we just did not want to get through?
I want to bring back like the monochronic and polychronic timing that we like learned about. Do you guys remember like the monochronic was like everything is like done on a set, like due date, like it's like timely planned out, and then polychronic is kind of like not that you're working in chaos, but it's kind of just like all flexible in there.
Yeah.
I feel like the fact that we always had like we didn't have like a start and end time, but like we had a start time and then we were flexible in terms of the end time. I feel like the timing of things and like actually having the comfort to put everything that you want out there like definitely helped us out with like completing a certain task by like a certain due date and being like confident in it, because you know when like somebody rushes you to finish something and then they're just like, okay, like you had enough time, you're like, this is it.
Yeah.
Like we never had that happen to us. So I think in terms of timing, like that helped us out a lot.
I feel like that would have like say like what you were talking about, how like, oh, like we're not like, oh, let's work this time to this time. I feel like that would have put like extra stress on us. Like, but I think we were all like very go with the flow and comfortable what like we had to do and what each other wanted to do. We were just like, okay, we'll meet up at this time and we'll work until it's done, or we'll get half of it done, and we'll work on it individually later. Like, I just think that's like more like effective of strategy and like working in a group than like deadline. Like obviously we have to beat the deadline for the assignments, but like I think like
We didn't have a personal deadline.
no,
Yeah.
we like managed our time very well and was just like really okay with whatever you guys wanted to do.
Yeah, I agree.
So what specific moments throughout this semester do you believe were the most impactful in moving forward with deliberation? So like when it came to conflict or when it came to like negotiation, like were there any like points specifically that you guys found to be like super impactful?
I feel like the like last project we definitely like were like running around like with chickens with their heads cut off, like because we were all like, oh my god, what are we supposed to do? But like once we like met, we were just like we talked through it, we organized ourselves, and we were like completely fine after that. And we like use it to this day on like how to organize like when in chaos.
Yeah.
And not like necessarily like deliberation, like the sense of like conflict or negotiation or whatever, but I think overall working in like a group with you guys was the most impactful moment. Was like that one time, like we bond all the time, but it was that one time where we were just like dumping everything in our lives,
everything
like,
in our
about
lives.
people, you know.
You know, wait, one for Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Oh, God, I feel like we're
And
running
then
out of time.
I feel like we were just like, I feel like that day we had like so much fun.
Yeah,
we did.
I
We
agree.
did.
It was really
And
fun.
I feel like times like that just like help us like feel more like less stressed about a project and more chill.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna bring up like a very like specific example, but
Okay.
I can't really even remember that well. I know we're running out of time. We're very sorry, but we're having so much fun.
Yeah.
So it was in class, and we got matched up with like another group. It was like the practice for like
Yes.
the
yeah.
what was it
Oh,
called?
yeah.
The town
Yes.
hall, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like us facilitating the other group and
Yeah.
the other group facilitating us and like asking like us all these questions. I really thought that was the breaking point because the topics that we talked about I feel like we were so confident in our own opinions that like having them go against what we were thinking like really brought us together to be like, hey, like, because I felt like we mostly like we're on the same page
Yeah.
with the answers that we had.
Yeah.
And like I just felt like such a strong connection. It wasn't even like an argument. We were just having a conversation, but it was so like meaningful to me for some reason because
Yeah.
we all like tried helping each other out in order to like at the end of the day like try to convince the other party of
Yeah.
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 what we thought.
Okay, my last two questions. I feel like I'm gonna just bundle in one. So if you were to give advice about conflict management or negotiation, or like if you were gonna start the semester over again, do it yourself all over again, like what would you do differently? What would you tell someone else as advice? Just kind of talk about that for a little bit.
I think for us, like, I wouldn't honestly want to do anything differently. I think this went so well. But if I had to give advice, like, for anyone else, I feel like just, like, always be, like, supportive and, like, considerate of the people, like, in your group. Because I think that was, like, obviously how we talked about this literally the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
that was, like, such, like, a big thing for us. And I feel like to help us work so much better, like, always being considerate of each other's like opinions, personal lives, and just always like being there for each other, even though like we've only known each other for less than 2 months. Like I feel like it was like so helpful, and I don't think like a group that doesn't have consideration and like a sense of like support like would be able to like work as well or as comfortably with their group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say one piece of advice I have is that like speak up on the first day. Like no one's gonna remember it. Like I feel like I don't even remember our first conversation. Do you
Yeah,
guys remember
no.
it? I don't remember it at all. But like I feel like it was definitely one of us just like went right into it, and like I feel like that's what definitely helped us build connection because it right away like broke that awkward tension that you always get at the beginning while like working with strangers. What you
Yeah.
were talking about.
Yeah.
I feel
So that's the one piece of advice to somebody who would start this class like tomorrow.
I feel like you should definitely put yourself out there. I'm like a really shy person. I definitely see a difference in myself versus like the beginning
Aw.
of the semester.
Personal growth. I
And
love
just
that.
like I feel like just don't be scared to make those connections and like really put
Yeah.
yourself out
Yeah.
there.
100%.
Yeah, overall, guys, I think we had a really great semester.
Yeah.
Like, if I were to give advice, I would straight up be like, you're probably not going to get as lucky as me.
We literally are so blessed.
Like,
Good
we
group.
did. I'm super appreciative of
Yeah.
you guys and how you
Me
guys
too.
handled
Yeah.
everything and just putting your work in there and not making it too difficult
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
have this conversation all
I
together,
agree.
and like
Yeah.
the fact that like we can sit here and talk about deliberation and be like, I don't really know how to answer that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think we have much to talk about with that.
Mhm. Well, we were.
Yeah.
I feel like we were all stressed out about. Sorry, this is going way over time at this point, but we're all stressed out of not like filling up the like time mark. Like, oh my gosh, what are we going to talk about for 45 minutes?
Well, we
and
went
now we
over-
are her.
And
Yeah.
we're not even like trying to drag it on. This is like on
Yeah.
accident.
Yeah.
That we're just, like,
we just
dragging
talk a
this
little
Yeah.
too much. But
Hopefully
like
you listen to this, Ben.
Yeah.
Please.
yeah.
on.
Please.
But Yeah. Overall, guys, 10 out of 10.
Great
10 out of
teamwork.
10.
Yes.
We got
Yes.
blessed.
Would totally do this class over again.
Over
It's
again.
So fun.
To summarize Brooklyn's point, we kind of just talked about the group values, and how we are. Sorry, I just wanted to put that summary out there.
The summary of, like, I think that there were, like, minor problems that were throughout our process, but I think we were able to come back from that very well and take each other into consideration, pick each other up, and I think it was really great.
Our values
can we
were
give,
so
like, a
great.
hug?
Yeah.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Ben. See you next semester, hopefully. Bye.